Hello, friends. Do you think animals are capable of gratitude? And if so, how do they express it? Because unfortunately, they can't just say thank you. Swans are not particularly friendly animals. They prefer to stick to the boundaries of their habitat and are loyal to their partner and do not have the slightest interest in people. Therefore, when this swan, the rescued one, hugged his savior as a token of his gratitude, it surprised the whole world. Richard Weiss, a British TV presenter, stumbled upon this swan while walking through the Abbotsbury Wildlife Sanctuary. The poor bird got stuck in the hedge and couldn't get out on its own. When Richard freed the poor thing, it wrapped its long, flexible neck around his neck in gratitude, clinging to him trustingly. It's a wonderful moment when an animal totally trusts you, says Richard. The photos are bound to touch your heart and soul. When I put it next to me, I could feel its heart beating, and it just relaxed its neck and wrapped it around mine. Weiss helped examine the swan's wounds. It's a really terrific feeling when you feel that bond and mutual trust with this non-verbally communicating animal. This story began back in 2009, when Brantley Harrison and her family found a squirrel wounded by an owl. The family named the squirrel Bella. For 5 months, the Harrisons lovingly raised and nurtured Bella back to health alongside 3 other squirrels, which they also nursed and released back into nature. Eventually, it came time to release the 4 squirrels into the wild. One of their former guests, however, just kept coming back to visit every single morning. The grateful squirrel didn't forget the family's kindness. It was Bella. The little lady just wasn't ready to part with the family that saved her life. Whenever she stops by, she asks for nothing more than a handful of walnuts and plenty of cuddles. Bella sits right at the front door waiting for someone to notice she has come by for a visit, Brantley says. A few years later, Bella turned up one morning with an injured foot and a secret surprise. The family took the squirrel in once again, and she soon gave birth to baby squirrels. It was truly amazing to watch the baby I raised raise her own babies, Brantley commented. Though it's been 8 years since Bella and the Harrisons first met, their bond is still just as strong. Bella even has her own Instagram account now, where her family documents her adventures. An unusual story befell the workers of the American Organization for Helping Animals, Wild at Heart Rescue. An owl in a grave condition got into the hands of the rescuers. It had a head injury and pneumonia. The bird could hardly move. The owl's condition was so bad that the parasites had already started multiplying in its body. Gigi, that's what the organization staff named the owl, was literally getting worse in front of their eyes. It lost a lot of weight and looked very sad. But miracles happen, and thanks to the efforts of the volunteers, Gigi was saved. Douglas, the head of the rescue organization, played a special role in the treatment of this owl. He was the best expert on bird problems, so it's not surprising that Gigi was literally reborn in his sensitive and skillful hands. What is especially surprising is that the owl got extremely attached to the man that was so kind to the bird. When Douglas left town for a while, Gigi was restless, and as soon as the bird saw its savior returning, it literally threw itself at the man and hugged him with its wings. An incredibly heartwarming moment, isn't it? The family rescued a wild deer from a hunter several years ago. And as a token of its gratitude, the animal doesn't forget to visit its rescuers. The deer behaves modestly. It goes up to the window and waits for everyone to wake up. The animal is very fond of bread, so the vendors at the local store put aside several loaves to give to the deer for free. See how this handsome animal eats its favorite delicacy. Meet a female kangaroo. Queen Abigail, or Abby, can probably be considered one of the most affectionate animals in the world. She starts each day by embracing the people who have been caring for her for 13 years. Abby lives in a specialized kangaroo shelter near Alice Springs. This shelter provides assistance to orphan kangaroos, rehabilitates them, and helps them return to their natural habitat. Abby ended up in the orphanage wounded and exhausted at the age of several months. Her mother probably died at the hands of hunters. Many people in Australia think that there are too many kangaroos and that it's okay to hunt them. Kangaroo meat and wool exports generate $29 million annually, providing employment to 4,000 people in the country. However, employees of the shelter where Abby lives are in favor of banning this business. Kangaroos are capable of retaining long-term memories, and therefore, they often have long-term friendships with the people that they see on a daily basis. And this orphan jaguar cub was raised by the Brazilian military soldiers. When the soldiers of the Brazilian military found the little jaguar in the Amazon jungle, it was barely alive. They couldn't leave it in the jungle. It would mean certain death at the hands of hunters. They took it with them, but sometime later it was clear that the cat was too weak for them to set it free. Local authorities allowed it to stay under the supervision of the Brazilian army. And now, the jaguar named Hikitaya is healthy and surrounded by love and care of the people who saved him from certain death. Hikitaya, on its side, doesn't stop thanking people for saving it and constantly shows its love for them. This jaguar has become the mascot of the regiment. As long as there are still kind people on Earth who can't stay indifferent to the suffering of other living beings, this planet still has a chance. Firefighters are very important people in our society. They risk their lives for us, and they are also responsible for saving people and animals that need them. Every part of their hard work is very important. Although they don't save lives around the clock, they are always on the alert. Firefighters are ready to prove themselves at any time. Their work is serious and important. And that's also how it is for this pit bull from the town of Hanahan, South Carolina. Jake was only 3 weeks old when he was rescued from a burning shed. 70% of his body was burned. The beginning of his life was terrible, and his future was completely unpredictable. The firefighter decided to adopt Jake. I knew this puppy needed a home after everything he'd been through. Now, the two are inseparable. They're together always and everywhere. Jake and Bill the firefighter can only part for a very short time before Jake starts barking and calling for his friend. Bill says his friendship takes a lot of effort and dedication, but it's worth it. Jake required long-term treatment for his wounds, which were successful. As soon as the dog was back on its paws, Bill brought him to his fire station. Jake immediately became friends with everyone and adopted the best features of these people. Jake spent every day at the fire station, and everyone there loved him. Jake didn't just become friends with the firefighters, but with a lot of other people as well. Playing with him is the best therapy. The chief of the fire station appointed Jake an honorary firefighter and the mascot of their station. And that's all for today, friends. Which of today's stories did you like the most? Tell us in the comments. Like the video and don't forget to share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.